Thanks for the raid, Alfie. Thank you. Hello. I appreciate that. Hope stream is good. Hope all is well. It's Monday, my dudes. How's everyone doing? Mundane day. Yeah, what a week. Yeah. It's Monday and you're already crashing out. Already overheated. It's warm today, man. I'm actually, yeah, I'm a bit overheated too. Worst day of the year so far. Doesn't have to be. This guy said, I have welding. Let's fucking go. Like a lime said. Oh, that's fine. Hey, I've said it before and I'll say it again. We can go over, if anyone's like, what is she talking about? We'll go over it in a sec. Any situations like this are not something to crash out over. You don't need to act like somebody's dying. nothing like insane is happening here. TLDR, if anyone did not see, Matara and vtuber just announced something, which I have known about for a while. Let me pull over a tweet. I don't want to paraphrase. I'd rather read it off than paraphrase. Let me go to her profile. It's not a graduation. Let's keep our heads cool. Even if someone were graduating, you should still keep your head cool. I've said that before. Like, the person behind it is making a decision that they want to make or that they want to do when someone graduates. This is not a graduation, so I'm talking about like other separate stuff. But you should just support them. That's all. You just support them so that whatever they're doing, they can feel good doing, right? In this case, this is not a graduation. This scenario is different. Mata made a tweet. And vtuber tweeted as well, but she said, vtuber made the decision to part ways with me on March 6th, effective May 5th. So I've known about this since a bit ago. I thank the girls plus Kuro for the great times we had together and the wonderful moments we shared in the last about 18 months. Has it been that long for her? I think yeah. Damn, yeah, she joined right after me. She says, I wish the remaining talent in vtuber the best of luck in their activities. I love them very much, and I will carry on being their bug auntie. I will continue streaming as Matara Khan because I am Matara Khan, and I hope the momos can still cheer me on, even if I won't be Matara Khan of vtuber. That's what Mata posted on Twitter. I love the girls plus Kuro.
Do not be a doomer. Join undead faction.
Thank you for the bits. Thank you. You can ask questions, I guess. I don't know what to say. I'm like trying to think about what I should say. I mean, there you go. There you have it. Pretty much. Yeah, she's going to be leaving the company. I want to make something really clear. vtuber is two separate things. When people talk about it, I feel like they conflate them. There is a company, and then there's also a group of people, a group of members. The members are not the company. The company are not the members. They're two groups of people doing their things in tandem. So saying she's left does mean she hasn't left yet. She's going to leave on May 5th. It means she's leaving the company. It has no anything to do with us as people, with our ability to do things with her, like as creators. It doesn't affect any of that. It doesn't at all.
Bet you were expecting the Moo STD.
Shut that up, bye. But Yeah. It's not a divorce, right? It's not like we can't do anything with her or anything like that. Um, this company Vishojo has never like they sign us on, and then if you want out or they want you out or either way or whatever goes down or you choose not to renew or you choose to this what there are like a million and one reasons why this could happen, but if any of those happen, it just means you, the talent, and the company no longer have a relationship. That's it. That's it. It doesn't have to do with anything else. There's no social impact between the members. Not saying that people won't like feel sad. Of course, there's that social impact, but there's no bearing on what we can and can't do with each other. Right? So I want to make that clear because I think a lot of people hold this company up next to other ones with very different business models. But it's not like that. That's all. That's all. So yeah, she just, as of May 5th, won't be under contract with the company. There you go. there's no effect on like her brand. I've seen some people freaking out thinking that like something's changing with her, but no, like she can hit go live anytime and stream just as she always has. What's going to happen is the badge on Twitter next to her name with the V and having Vishojo in her name, those will leave. She won't be in the Twitch team. They won't like post her on the Vishojo YouTube. It's stuff like that. You know, like the most basic of things. Not the Twitter badge. She's gonna lose her premium. You get free premium when you're part of one of the brand accounts. It's actually kind of nice. But that's really like what you're gonna see happen. And that's kind of it. I can't really think of like anything else on the laundry list. Like, but it just like she won't have it in her bio. I don't know if it's written in her bio. She won't have like a shoujo email. Like, you know what I mean? It's all the simple stuff like that. Will they have to repaint the Senpai Squad car? Actually, I don't know. Wait, that's a good question. I didn't think of that. Well, that's what's gonna happen, right? Over time, we're just gonna like realize little things and we're like, oh shit, man. All this, all that. But yeah, right. She won't have merch on the Vishojo store, etc. Yeah, I don't like this. You said no Mata in the Vishojo collabs, Sag. Not necessarily. We have Vishojo collabs sometimes that are like only members, but for the most part, we almost always invite people who are not in the group to a lot of things that we do. So I don't even like. There will probably be collabs that are all members plus her. Like, you know what I mean? Stuff like that will happen. Stuff like that will happen. Is there merch on the Orchid store from Berkeley? I think some of it or all of it is. Yeah, I don't know. Has the term graduation even been used here? No, it's not a graduation. Because a graduation is when a VTuber's like the IP is being retired essentially, or similar. Or sometimes the person themselves are entirely stopping streaming as well. Yeah, full sunsetting, right? She's not doing that. She's just not going to be under contract with this company. Shoujo is an exclusive. It can be. This exclusive isn't the right word there, but I get what you're saying. They don't own our stuff. They don't own our IPs. So if the person leaves the company, the character also leaves the company with them because that person owns the character. So that's totally fine. As for exclusive, you know, contracts and exclusivity, whatever, I'm assuming most people probably are exclusive, which means you sign on saying, I'm not going to also sign on with other companies. That's what exclusive would mean. That's different. But as far as ownership, yeah, I can't give like contract details, so I'll just describe generally how it tends to work. You license what you own and your IP to them. You retain ownership and you license it to them so that they can use it where appropriate or in certain cases that you agree to them being able to use it.
She's literally just not contracted with a company anymore. It's
Yeah.
like real life people in industries being on contract or freelance.
Yep. Exactly. Exactly. So, yeah, I hope that kind of clears up that part of things, but you're free to ask questions. There's a lot of stuff I can't answer. I said this in the Discord, but I want to make this really clear so people don't press people. I don't want to pressing members too much for answers that they can't give. I don't know what anyone else is going to say about anything. We're not like putting together our heads on here's exactly what I'm going to say. It's just, you know, whatever they want to say. But we are under strict NDAs and contracts. So we can't always answer every question that people ask. There might be some things that you ask, and I can't say that because it means I have to tell you a contract detail, or I can't say that because it means I have to say a certain type of thing that I just can't, you know, and there's stuff like that that we just might not be able to answer. That's just how it's going to be. So, you know, if someone's like not answering a certain question or something, don't be like, oh, they're not answering, and freak out and start pressing people for answers. They might just not be able to. That's all. That's all. Yeah, that's what a contract is. Exactly. This is all stuff that people agree to up front. So, you know, none of this is like a new thing or anything like that. You know? But yeah, what I said on Discord was, at least for my community, I asked that you keep discussions civil, don't start speculating wildly, be normal. She'll keep her IP, as per usual with any VShojo member that leaves, because you've seen that happen before, and they keep their IP. It's the same scenario. Some people were assuming it might be different because when she appeared, when Matara-con debuted, she did so under VShojo, but it's still the same as anyone else who joined when they had their IP first and then joined in. Same scenario with her where she owns everything. That's all hers. And like I said, her relationship with the company or brand has zero bearing on her relationship with the members.
We
There's
stay in
separate.
our lane like always, boss.
I appreciate you guys for doing that, always. But yeah, anything between her and the company, and whether she's with the company or not or whatever, has nothing to do with whether she's with us or not socially, or like our friendships, or what we can and cannot do together content-wise even. Like all of that, those two things are separate and have no effect on each other, you know? So just want to make that super, super, super clear. I just ask that you support her. You know, she's a person, she's a streamer, and she's going to keep being a person and a streamer, and she's going to keep being Matara-con, and you just support her. That's it. That's it. I will say, I don't want to see any of you motherfuckers being like, it's not the same if she's not in the group, and then like being like, I'll go to dip. If I see that shit, you weren't a fan of hers to begin with. I don't want to hear it, okay? I don't want to hear it. If you're a fan of hers, you support her. That's all. Okay? That's all. But yeah, let me scroll up. Did you have any questions? Let me see. She mentioned that the decision was made on March 6th as a bit of time between decision and announcement. Yeah, I mean, in what world would they be like, here's the decision, okay, let's do this next week? That's not enough time to separate out all the business shit you have to separate out to have a proper exit. It's like impossible. You need at least a month, and even that's a little quick. You need a lot of time to do like a wind down. You gotta. If you don't, I mean, you can't tie up loose ends properly. You know? Yeah, offboarding. It's like any job where you have to offboard. Someone said, so you are contractors? I'm not going to go exactly into the nature of our contract specifically, but it's very similar, yeah. Basically, we license some things out, and then we're not contractors. It's almost like, in a way, like we contract their services. Like, in a way, like they do work for us, right? I'm like, you can have these things from me, and in return, I need this work from you. That's how it kind of works without going into excruciating detail. Yeah, they're a service provider, exactly. So I have a manager who I work with. They can help me with merch if I ask them to. They can help me with some different things, and that service is something I'm sort of contracting out from them in a way. In a way. I wouldn't always use the word contracting there because of the exact way the contract is written, but like, you know, that's sort of how it works. So, well, we still have Hag collab streams. nothing like that's gonna change, to be honest. How will this affect the trout population? I don't know, but the weather's heating up. Any prediction as to what bad VTuber thing will happen for the remaining 2 days of April? I hope nothing. You know, I knew this was all coming up, and then when everything else happened this weekend, I was like, oh, what a weekend. like I knew. You know, I was like, ooh. I thought this was going to be the only thing happening, you know? So I was like, oh, man, it's going to be rough for everyone. And then it was like, you know, that came in with a steel chair, too. So I was like, shit. Okay. Okay. Here we are, you know? You roll with the punches. Would you say, why are NDAs so strict? The NDA is so strict. I get it's common, it makes sense, but can't put words to exactly why. I think it's standard that NDAs are like, hey, here are different types of information. Here's how you identify what is what type of information, and anything within these types of information you can't say. It's just pretty normal. It protects all parties. And each side of any contract, this isn't just in entertainment, but in business and everything. NDAs are for proprietary information. They're for not letting things get out too early, so your marketing isn't messed up, because timing's important on that. There may be some things about your operations you don't want someone to know. So a lot of like companies will like, let's say you work in tech. Obviously, you can't take how your company functions and every little thing, and here's the work we've done, and just give that to another company. You can't. In return, there will sometimes be things that the company can't say about you, you know, or can't do, etc., etc. Sometimes they're one way. Sometimes NDAs are one way. They're all different types. All you can usually say about them is that you have an NDA. And then when someone asks you something that you can't answer, you just point and tap the sign. You're like, here's why I can't do that. But you don't really talk about the nature of it. So that's really what it is. That's what it is. But yeah, you know, like our contracts and NDAs make it so that we can't talk about certain things. And that's just it. Because sometimes to explain something, we might have to tell you like a ton of background information and a ton of context that you shouldn't really have. You know what I mean? So then in those cases, it's better to just not say like much relating to it, because sometimes giving partial info is worse than giving no info. Because people, when you give them one factoid but they're still missing a lot, their brain starts to try and fill things in with whatever they can assume. And that can be a lot worse. So NDAs tend to be a bit more blanket, because that situation usually gets really out of hand. So yeah, right, the more room you leave to speculate, the worse it gets, always. And that's why I'm just here, like, to clarify. If you got questions, you got something going on, you want to know something, like, I'll tell you if I can or not. These NDAs last for perpetuity. I don't know about everyone's, but typically yes. In this situation, typically yes. Have you had a chance to talk with Bug Mom? Oh, I've been talking to her. Absolutely. Always checking in. We've always been close. And, yeah. Absolutely. I'm just scrolling through looking for more questions in case there's anything I want to clarify. NDAs can be strict but not broad at the same time. Yeah. And we can't, I can't pick through mine and tell you, I could talk about this, I can't talk about that. I can't even, like, I can't do that. So I just have to wait for a question that I can't answer and then tap and go. And that's it, really, right? That's all. So I just wanted to remind everyone, you know, like, everyone in this industry deals with that kind of thing. So don't, like, Don't harass them for answers. Just, whoever's going to say whatever they're going to say, that's what you're going to get, I was leaving chat. I missed it. It's Matara. You can go on her Twitter or the vshoujo Twitter. Fallen says, I thought vshoujo was a company run by the talents, though. No. No, we don't own the company. We don't drive the company. There are staff. That's why I was saying, when people talk about vshoujo, they tend to conflate the members and the corpo side of the company. We don't own it. We don't drive it. That's not us. It's an agency. It's a talent management company, and there are staff, and the decisions of what happens within the company at the end of the day belongs to them. Doesn't mean we can't talk to them about things, but I'm just saying, none of us have a position where we can legally overrule or something like that. You know what I mean? So you're saying run by the towns, is not literally like that. So, just letting you know, that's where that comes from. I think what you're thinking of is a talent cooperative, which there are plenty of examples of. A talent cooperative is when they come together and they form something, and then the talents who formed it are also the owners, and all business decisions do go through them in some way. Yeah, Vichibon's an example. There are a lot of other examples of this. That's what you're thinking of, but no, they're not a cooperative. vshoujo is its own separate company that staff are working within. It has owners who are not talents, right? It has owners, and then we license our IPs to them, and we have contracts with them, and we work with them. In ways we give them things, in ways they give us things, right? It's like that. If that makes sense. You said, as a general question. Okay, general question. If somebody asks, if someone leaves the company, assuming under good terms, if circumstances change, are they able to come back? There is no legal reason why that couldn't happen, to my knowledge, to my understanding. Now, would that happen? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. If someone wanted to, they could absolutely entertain it. Yeah, there's no mechanical reason why that couldn't happen. Yeah, if it makes sense. Exactly. Well, I'm still going through and reading, just checking. I just want to answer everything I can. I have to scroll so much. Thank you so much for clearing the air. Yeah, I'll say what I can. How's it feel being the unofficial public liaison of VTubing? Hey, I'm glad that people come to me to ask questions about a lot of different things. That's cool. At the same time, I'm one person and I'm speaking from my own experience. Okay. Ooh, one question said, is there any time where it's okay to break an NDA? That's a really vague question, and that depends. So every NDA is an agreement between people to not disclose certain information. And then in that agreement, you also write what happens if you do it. Right? So if something is a crime or is illegal, yeah, the NDA does not cover that. Haha, doo-doo. If it's something like, a simple piece of information, for example, like my personal information or something, right, that they can't say, and then someone says it and they break it, then I choose, if I want, to enact a consequence. So the way NDAs work is it's still on the other party to choose if they want to pursue it. So it's not like you break NDA and you've broken a law. It's more like if you break the NDA, then I can pursue a thing, or someone else can pursue a thing. And that just depends on how it's written. Some of them are written like that. Some of them are written a little differently, but typically there are terms. There are terms, you know, and they're all different, especially in different industries and stuff like that. Yeah, it's not an obligation for anyone to do that, though. If I had an NDA with somebody that said, you know, if you if you say you like the color red, that is a breach of this NDA, and I can sue you for damages relating to something, you know, like then I could do exactly that. It's spelled out. I could also give somebody a vague one. I could be like, if you say you like the color red, then you've breached this NDA. And dot dot dot. Sometimes like they're vague too, you know, like. So it just depends on each little contract and how they're all written, and, you know. And we're not going to tell you exactly what's in ours or anything like that. That's not part of anything. So basically, the TLDR is they can all be different. They can all be different, but we also can't disclose what those exact things are. So, you know, that just is what it is. So sometimes you choose not to pursue legal action for things like that. You just want to kind of wash yourself of the issues. And you want to kind of like just be done with it. You can just settle with someone. You could just agree to disagree and say, hey, water under the bridge. Or you could wash yourself of the issues with cheeky soap. Don't forget, guys. Do not forget, exclamation point scum in the chat. If you feel like you want to wash yourself of any issues currently, I've got the soap for you. I've got the soap for you. Okay. Make sure you go check it out. You have wonderful flavors like Absolute Cinnamon and Spope. You're on Pulp Francis right now? Yeah, I know. What awful timing. Anyway, we can get back to questions, but make sure you buy the soap. It's good. You said, what is happening with her remaining merch? Is it going to be on sale until stock is empty, or is it going away immediately? I don't know. You'd have to ask her.
Congratulations, by the way, on being the newest VTuber in the V-Shoujo lineup.
Oh, thank you so much. I don't know. You're going to have to ask her. I don't remember. I want to say hers was on her own shop and not the V-Shoujo store, right? She had like her own link for it or something. I don't know who physically has the stock. Like, there are all these little logistical things to figure out. That's why someone was like, oh man, why did it take so long between them deciding on it and the announcement? Because there's like all these little things that they gotta figure out, like this tiny logistics. Yeah, if it's stuff through Orchid 8 and Orchid 8 has it in their warehouse, she probably just takes ownership of it, I guess. I don't know. You'll have to ask her. I'm still scrolling to see if we got any more questions that I missed. What is this? Does this mean Mom Tara won't be getting Mata and hunting together? I don't know what that sentence means, and I would love to answer your question. I just have no clue what that means. I scanned it 3 times and I still don't know what you're asking. So please rephrase. Is WME involved in this at all? That's separate. Many of us have separate agents or talent managers or whatever. A lot of us have separate companies that we also work with. That's just totally separate. And I don't know exactly the nature of her contract with WME or anything, but she can probably just stay with them or re-sign with them after, in case there's some sort of reason why it might have been done through vtuber or something like that. I don't know how it works. But I know that we as members have always been able to get ourselves signed on to other companies as well for other services if we felt like we wanted more of that. Because I'm going to be real, you know, I do enough sponsorships. I do an okay number of them. Vast majority of them are ones I got myself or through another company. V-Shoujo's gotten me some things, but it's Nickelodeon All-Stars Brawl last year. the Nikkei event, and G Fuel. Right? Any of the other game sponsorships you see me doing are all done privately. So a lot of us have other companies like that, or ability to just do it on our own, where we can get these things. So like for me, when you see me do sponsorships, it's usually from someone else, yeah. Or I got it myself, right? Like at Xseed, I have a great relationship with them, and I just talk straight with them. So I've seen some people be like, "Oh my god, what about this other company?" Like a lot of us do that, and that's very normal. That's very, very normal. For us, at least. Still scrolling. I'm checking. I don't want to miss anything. Will there be an opening for another talent? There's no slots like that. That doesn't exist. We could have 2 members. We could have 1,000 members. There are no slots. It's just a matter of, can the company give services to that many people? That's all. Yeah, joined a bit late, but will we still be able to collab with her? Absolutely. I'll say it a million times. Her relationship with the company and her relationship with the members as people or as content creators are all separate things. Totally separate. They don't reflect on each other. I could be like, "Grr, I hate you so much, Matara," and she could still just stay with the company, right? Like, like I could have like a beef, and like that doesn't affect how the company sees her, or vice versa, you know, like, grr, yeah, nothing like that affects anything else. Now, thankfully, we all love each other, so that's great. But you know, not related to the current situation, but is Haruka doing okay? She's doing just fine. I talk to her all the time. She's doing just fine. Would you say if she joined right after you, did you just renew your contract? No, that's not the timing. Her contract, as far as timing goes, I don't know exactly when she signed. I don't have everyone's start dates memorized, so I can't tell you. I can tell you my start date is nowhere near April. I've seen a few people comment in the Discord. I cleared that up too. Some people being like, "Oh, April's contract season." No, there is no such thing as contract season. We don't have that. There might be some people who signed on at a similar time, so maybe their contracts did line up with each other, which is why it might look like there's a contract season, but that doesn't exist in the company. Like, they try to batch people together or something. It is simply, like, in my experience when I joined, we sat down and we negotiated, and whenever I felt like the negotiation was, like, done and I was comfortable with it, I then signed. And whatever date that was whatever date that was. There was no, like, attempt to do it within a batch or season or near someone else or anything like that. So yeah, my contract is not anywhere near like April, May, personally, or my signing, I should say. So hope that makes sense. I don't know. I see people say that all the time, and I'm like, what do you mean? Because there's like it's not a thing. You know what I mean? Like, internally, we don't have that like a thing. Are you feeling okay? I'm feeling fine, yeah. Nova might have a contract season. I don't know. But that's an example, right? If a couple people joined around the same time, they might have sign dates that are similar, but they probably are not all on exactly the same day. They're probably just whenever it worked out for that person. You know, a debut date could be 2 weeks after you sign. A debut date could be months after you sign. Right? It could just be any amount of time, whenever you feel ready to debut. They also like let me pick my debut date, so I could have signed and then been like, I don't want to debut for 2 months. They would have been like, okay, you know. So we don't know. TLDR, like, you can't even assume that. Yeah, you said GEEGA not having all the answers should be more proof than anything that the talent doesn't run Bishoujo. Yeah, it's not my company. It's a company I'm with. I don't own them, they don't own me. It's kind of always how it's been. Yeah. Will you still be hanging out with her? I hate her. Of course I'm gonna hang out with her. Like I said, nothing changes. She's still a very close friend of mine. That's all. Grr. Grr. Without going into detail, do you agree with her decision about leaving VShojo? Yeah. Yeah, I think you should always do what's right for you. Absolutely. I think it's hard being in a group because, like, let's say it makes sense. This is obviously going to be a sad time for her because this makes sense for her, but no one wants to leave a group that's also a group of friends. You know what I mean? So thankfully, we're still friends. Like, it doesn't affect that. But no one, like, wants that part of it, you know? But you know, like I said, this is being in this group means being signed to a company, and you have to consider that, right? That's the important part. And then all the social stuff you should think about second, because friends can be friends. There's no problem with that. You know what I mean? The biggest loss here would probably be having access to the VShojo Discord. Right. Yeah, stuff like that, right? That's really it, though. I mean, we can all DM her as much as we want. We can make a group chat. We can make our own server or something. You know, like, we could do anything here. Also, side note, sorry for your bag sounds. I'm gonna eat an entire donut. I bought a donut on my way back. Because I was like, you know, I don't usually eat sweets, but today's one of those days where I want a fucking donut. It's not even super sweet, actually. It's a very, like, buttery, kind of savory one. With just a little sugar and cinnamon on the outside. Oh, like a coffee cake. Very nice. All right, more questions. Sorry, I'm scrolling. Are you all good right now? Yeah. Huh. This person says, does Amelie joining have anything to do with Mata not being re-signed? No. The fuck? No, it has nothing to do with any members. Absolutely the fuck not. In fact, we were just planning, we were like, ooh, we should collab this week. Let's do a day where the three of us, like, them two and me, we sit down and, like, hang out. Just chatting. I hope that was just a scuff joke or something, please. No, she walked into the server and stabbed her instantly. Oh, so crazy. Let me scroll more. Is it true that the HQ is located in an active volcano? You know, redacted. I can't tell you where it is. Can't tell you. That's confidential, classified information. What happens to her property in the Minecraft server? I'm gonna kick her off the server. I'm gonna repossess it. I'm gonna turn it into my house instead. I'm gonna burn my house down. And I'm gonna tell her she's never allowed to log on. Grr. You know, we have a lot of non-members on the server, right? I'm pretty sure everything will be fine. Said you can always make another Discord server with everyone in VShojo and friends. Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm saying. Right? And be honest, we don't really, like, use the Discord, like, a ton to talk to each other. That's usually in, like, DMs and stuff. We do use it to at each other for collabs and things sometimes. But it would be really easy for me to at the server. 3 people want to do a thing, and then I'm like, okay, let me ask Mata too. Right? It just... Honestly, a lot of people don't even see the pings, and we have to DM them anyway, so it doesn't really change much. No shade, but I have to DM these bitches all the time. So, you know. Just saying, not much gonna change for me on that front. I'm always DMing people. Did you see this message? It'll be fine. As far as I see it then, Mata's just not going to have VSJ branding then. Yeah. Uh-huh. It just means she won't have the branding. She and the company won't represent each other. Right? She's not going to be representative of the brand. They're not going to represent her. There you go. There you go. She has a lot of her own staff as well, so like it's not like every little thing she did with VShoja staff only, right? Like she's always had people. A lot of us have this where we have our own people hired in our own team too. So she's got her own people already. So she's not like, you know what I mean? She's not like leaving and then like gonna be in despair, like business wise, like incapable of getting shit done. Cause she has people, you know, like VShoja provides us each one manager. And then all the other staff are like can be tapped for whatever their things are. Like merch people can be tapped for merch, but I could also go to another merch company. Sponsorships people could be tapped for sponsorship, but I could also go to my other agent and be like, yo, I want sponsorships. Right? Like we all kind of tend to have varying degrees of that anyway. Some more than others. Like when I joined, I was already indie for a while and I had a lot of shit built up already on the back end for me. So I joined being like, hey, I don't really need much. I'm just here to party, you know? I was like, I'm just here to make content with you guys. I don't like need a lot of the other stuff, you know? And I still utilize it where I can, but I always just did that on my own before, you know? So like anyone who then like goes indie the other way around, they'll be fine. They'll be totally fine. You know what I mean? Is you not sharing your donut proof of your feeling toward the other talent? Yes, read into it. Grr. Oh, it's so terrible. I'm not sharing my donut with them. Oh. The cycle-thon, though, that was awesome. Did you see how much they raised? Absolutely fucking insane. Absolutely insane. Yeah, that's the good news of the week. If this week has really been a doozy, been a lot for people, I would recommend just watching Cyclothon clips, checking out how that did. Everyone loves to focus on the negative, but there was a lot of good shit that happened this week. Really. Okay, I'm still reading, I'm still checking the chat. Do you know if we'll hear from the audition soon, or is it still a work in progress? Still a work in progress. Scrolling. What does this say? I can't. Some of the way you word some of your questions, guys, is like a little cooked. Just read it back to yourself and say it out loud. Make sure it sounds like a real sentence before you enter. Sometimes I think people are like panic typing, and you have all the time in the world, and it just comes out like off. I can't tell what you're asking sometimes. Some of these are funny. You said you're a bit sad, or you said all you're a bit sad about is no Mata and VShoja music stuff. It's not like she can't make music with VShoja members. Yeah, it doesn't change any of that. Obviously, if there's like a VShoja Halloween cover, you're not going to see people who aren't members in those. That's it. Do you decline a lot of sponsor offers? Me? Oh, yeah, I get a fuck ton. Yeah, I get a fuck ton of offers from like my personal stuff, like my outreach on that end, and through like other agents. I get a lot of offers. So when you see me take a sponsorship, I've probably rejected like 15 more. Any reason why you're on this cooking screen? I feel like when we're talking about things like this, if you see my model at the same time, it changes the flavor a little bit. Because my model's like permanently smiling a little. You know what I mean? Like, you know, it gives expression to it that I'm not necessarily making. So I like to just do it with voice. We go radio mode. So we're radio mode right now. I will be on the screen a bit. My model exists right now. It's like on the other monitor, but it's not a clipping shield. I thought it was, but people still clip shit that I talk about. Anyway. Oh well. Will you do a Giga Chat with Matara in the near future? We've been meaning to. I asked her months ago, and we're like, yeah, let's do it. And then we were talking about doing it sometime soon, and then I was looking at the dates for this, and I was like, I want to film it, but I don't want to, like, do it at the worst time for her when she's, like, super fucking busy. So I think right now a lot of things have wound down for her. Kind of yes, but kind of no. So whenever her time is good, we'll do it. But that's not just like a VShojo member thing. That's just whoever I want to do it with. So we'll do it anyway, no matter what. With that degree of freedom that you guys have, what kind of obligations are there from talent to VShojo? What I can tell you, stuff that's been previously revealed or I can talk about, they take cuts of just a couple of things. We've talked about this before. It's, yeah, just profit sharing and not of everything. Only of merch and sponsorships. Nothing else. Not a single cent that I make through any of my channels, like subscriptions or bits or anything like that. None of that. We don't share any of that. That is purely ours. But, you know, merch because they do it with us, or sponsorships because they're getting them with us or something. Like, if they're basically putting in work to help us get that thing in some way, shape, or form, then that changes it, right? But that is how that works. So we give them that, and then in return they provide us services. Does that make sense? Does that explain that? Is your agent expensive, or do they take a cut of the sponsorships they bring in? Almost every single agency of all kinds, they all just take a cut. They do a percentage. Almost all of them. Let me look. Being able to reject sponsors sounds like a nice problem to have. Yeah, though sometimes I'm rejecting them because, like, I'm like, there's no way in hell I'm playing this. It's like the 20th offer from Raid Shadow Legends, you know, things like that. There are other times where I'm like, they offer me, they're like, we're not gonna pay you, but we'll give you exposure, and I'm like, ooh. Sometimes it's like great, and most of the time it's not great. So I tend to only take sponsorships of things that I'm interested in, though. You know. Another question: how do I stop balding? Hey, you can't stop at male pattern baldness. Get some all. It gets them all, man. Put a little Windex on it. A little Rogaine. Okay, for the 20th time, someone asked, can VShojo members still collab with former members? Yes. What's going on with the VShojo radio thing that was announced a while back? I think at some point it'll resume filming. I think at some point it's just scheduling and stuff needed to postpone it for a bit. If you could pick another donut flavor, which one would it be? Just a standard one with like chocolate on the top, man. Ugh. So good. I know Gunn is camera shy, but do talents talk to him often? I think that depends on the person. I don't much, just when I need something, that's it. Are you not the one giving them exposure? Oh, for sponsorships? Yeah, I don't know. That is what it is. Have you ever taken a sponsorship but turned down the money for any reason? No, but I've asked them for things that aren't money before. Like I approached New Blood Games a long time ago, and I wanted to do an event with them where I did an indie game gauntlet, which is like a stream I do occasionally where I play a bunch of indie games in a row. We just test them quick. And I was like, I want to do one where I test all of your games. But I'm not going to ask you for money. I just want to know if I can get game keys for some of these things for my community. And they were like, absolutely yes. And we did a whole sponsored event, but it wasn't even like that. So that was really nice. That was really, really nice. But yeah, sometimes we do stuff not for money, right? Like, but there's something transactional still. Like, we help them, they help us. So for me, I was just like, I don't want you to help like me. I want you to just like give me keys to give to my community, you know, and help them. So that was what we did with New Blood. Can current VShojo members collab with future members though? Wink. Yeah, I mean, obviously, we can collab with whoever the fuck we want. We can always do that. But I don't know that we would know that at this point in time. So, you know. Like, I collabed with Amma many times. I didn't know she was joining until way later. We didn't know until like a little bit before. We weren't like in the know for 6 months or something like that. So like, I'm pretty sure I'd collabed with her and had no clue. So that stuff happens. Do you think Annoying Orange has a chance of joining VShojo? I would lose my mind. I would lose my mind. Is there a new V Rising server for the new patch that came out today? I don't know if we're gonna do a community one, but I love that game. I love that game. Getting a sponsor on the new Doom? I don't know. Not that I'm aware of. But I'm gonna have my agent ping them. And be like, yo. Yo, we want this. Can we have this? And see. Yeah, this comment you said, guess it technically doesn't matter that Mata leaves to us. It's just that I liked the team and I like the idea that you're all working towards similar goals, which is sort of an abstract thing to be sad about. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, that's what it is for me, too. I feel the same way. I feel exactly the same as that comment, right? Like it is the idea of it, but I know functionally nothing really changes. But I still like the idea of it. I like being able to say, like, this is my member in this group or whatever. Even if that doesn't functionally change anything, right? Like, I love that. And that's what I was saying. I was like, no one wants to not be doing that with their friends. But you have to prioritize, like, you know, your business decisions. You have to. The business has to prioritize itself, too. Like, everyone has to prioritize those things first, and then that kind of stuff comes second. A lot of you talking about the annoying orange being a VTuber. Get out of here, dude. No. No. Did you change your reply to Melta's tweet, or am I going to say I swear it's something different before? No. No, I hit enter and then I went outside and ate some fat food. I had really good food today. Yeah, I tweeted a few things. And then I went out and ate food. Prioritize business feels like a cursed phrase considering recent events. I know, but I'm not gonna like turn it into the boogeyman of phrases, you know? Don't get caught by boogeymanning phrases, okay? It's still a valid statement in a vacuum in its own way. It does actually fit this one, yes. I've noticed that a lot of people on Twitter, not just with recent events, but in general, get so spooked by anything that reminds them of Corpa talk. The moment it sounds a little Corpa, they're like, ah! And they like don't want to trust it, or they don't want to believe it, or they put their hands on their ears and they're like, ah, la, 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 I don't hear you. You know, don't let things like that turn into the boogeyman. It's just doing what's right for you or for a company or whatever. That's fine, man. Do you think Mata will have an easier time or more difficult time being successful after VShojo? I don't think it'll affect it. The reality is, VShojo's never really built itself up as a brand that is like super separate from us and has its own separate fan base from us or something like that. Or that's like a blanket over us, an umbrella over us like that. It's made up of our own fan bases and it's made up of our own communities. So I don't think that will be much of an issue. There might be some people, I was saying this earlier, like if you're her fan, you're going to support her. That's it. There might be some people that will be like, I was only checking out certain people because they were like in the same brand as you. She's still my friend though. So I still hope you would offer her the same grace, whether there's the brand name on it or not, you know? The same way I hope you'll offer any of my friends that grace, right? So, but again, I think for the most part, the way our communities interact with each other, it's more about they check out communities of the people that we do a lot of collabs with, not necessarily like, oh, just because they're in your company, I'm going to watch them. They don't really do that. There's a little, but not much. So I think, and I think most companies, honestly, there's a lot of that. So she'll be fine. Can you say when you found out about Matara leaving? I probably can, but I don't want to, and I'll tell you why. Because then you get people that start pulling out the magnifying glass, and they start trying to see shit that isn't there. When you give a specific detail like that, they start trying to look at other things that they don't know anything about and trying to line shit up that has nothing to do with anything else, and they start going crazy. Yeah, they go full tinfoil hat mode, and I don't want to encourage that. You know? Realistically, it came to me in a dream. Of course, that's the story you tell people. But yeah, I just feel like that's one of those things where like you say it and then people are like, they start to really, they overcook so much. And that's what I was saying earlier, like the reason why NDAs and things like that exist is because when you give a couple of specific details, but you can't say all of them, or you shouldn't say all of them, then people start to like fill in the gaps with weird assumptions. So it's better to say less, in my opinion. Is Manta still part of the VShojo G Fuel collab? I don't know how that will work. I am not sitting down at the negotiating table with lawyers and her and being like, so how is this working for you, Manta? Yeah. I don't know. I'm not sure. No clue. All I know is my code works. So there you go.
No, but you don't understand. It can't be just a business decision or someone doing what's best for them. Where is my drama, GEEGA?
You're right. I gotta make some artificially. Let me cook on that. I'll think on that. We'll make something up. Don't worry, guys. We'll make something up. Trust and believe. I'll figure it out. Any other questions? Anything else? Anything still unclear? I'm still scrolling. Said you're only gonna stop being a Momo when you can't afford the internet anymore to watch her. Lamel. If not much is changing for Mata or you guys with this, what is the gain you have from being in the company versus being indie? That's just some things. I think it's really nice to be associated with a brand that has a certain type of reputation, because then I don't have to sit there and pitch and explain myself as much to certain people when I'm trying to get a thing done. I could just be like, yeah, I'm with this. And they're like, oh, I know what that is. Okay. You know, makes some business deals easier. But I think, honestly, if you know how to pitch yourself, that doesn't really matter too much. As someone who already has their own team, it really doesn't have to change much. I think for her, like, you don't join it because you have something to gain. That's like crazy. You join it because you're like, I want to just be in this group. This is the environment I want. You know? Does that make sense? There might be some people who have more to gain than others. But, I know for like myself, I came in, I already had a full team. You know, like there might be some people who have no team, and then this builds everything for them on the back end, right? Sorry, I'm scrolling. I just don't want to miss anything. Without Montevideo, just 16 members. 16 divided by 2 is 8. 8? It's 8's all the way down, man. I'm telling you. That number has been following me. Anyone who hasn't been watching streams recently, all you gotta know is the number 8. I'm telling you, it's something. Can't be nothing. Put your hats on. It's something. Any plans for today? Yeah, I'll get on the screen eventually. I want a game today. We will in 2.5. Yeah, 2.5 hours. We have a collab, actually. Mato's doing a thing with a bunch of us, so we're gonna do a lot of collabs with her this week. Yeah. Yeah, we have a Minecraft thing. She wanted to make like a separate, fresh little vanilla server, and we just hang out together. No, I was like, yeah, it's cute. You asked a question a minute or so ago. I don't know if you saw. Oh, I just answered that one. I got you. Do you think we will ever get to know the reason why, like, years from now? I don't know. I don't know. I really, truly wish I could say a lot more. And I love talking about these types of topics, creators, business, everything around that. But I either can't or think I shouldn't, depending on which fact it is or which part of it is. That's just how it is. And then it's also, at the same time, not my particular issue to discuss. So I can tell you how I feel about it. And I can talk about how things work. But I don't want to get so into it and put words in someone's mouth or anything like that, right? Like, really, you should just, later on, whenever Matara's around, let her speak, you know, and listen to her and see what she has to say. You know, again, it is between her and the company and not me, right? It's not me. That's why when I was talking about a lot of the stuff that was happening this weekend, I was talking about like the business side of it, but I wasn't really getting into the personal side of it because the personal side had nothing to do with me. I was just commenting on the business side as someone in the same industry as another VTuber, right? But that's really, you know, I'll stay out of some of that. Hold on, we got a doomer in the chat. What are you saying? We are downplaying the fact that VShojo's company, it's not fair to say losing the backing of VShojo isn't a major change. It is a major change. For them. Not for me. That's what I'm saying. Okay. It is a major change for the company, yes. Not for me. Right? And that's again the thing I want to make clear one more time is the company's the company, the group of people's a group of people. The group of people are a group because of the branding of the company, but also separately simply because they are friends. And that's the part that is most important to me. And that is not being affected. Therefore, I'm chilling. Does that make sense? I mean, obviously there are things about this that make me very sad. Obviously. But there are also things about this that make me very happy for her. And it's just, it's a mixed bag, of course. But all of it doesn't affect you guys, and that's what's most important. You guys, the community, this will not affect you. And that's it. The only people who are affected are the members and people within the company. But because she's doing her own thing, her community's intact, we can still collab, all those things are the same. At the end of the day, you guys will be fine, you know? Know what I mean? My own mod says, the power of friendship type shit. Oh my god. Like, I actually try to imagine what would change for you guys as viewers, and I can't picture it. She already had her own merch site, so it's not even like the URL changes. You know what I mean? Like, I actually think nothing changes. It just might be that, like, when you go... I don't think any of you do this. Is this a UX scenario that happens? Do any of you ever click on the VShojo team, the Twitch team, next to our names in the About section to see who's live and then click on them from there? I doubt a single one of you does that, but, like, I think the two people on this earth that do that to find out who's live will be affected. Because she won't be in the Twitch team. Once. I don't know what a Twitch team is. That's a thing? Yeah. Oh. Well, exercise. You can, Hey. Bad design from Twitch. That's clickable. Little did you know. You scroll down, and when there's a Twitch team next to the creator's name, you can click on that. And it shows a team page which has a list of everyone that is in the Twitch team. And then if someone's live, you can, like, use it to navigate to them. Aren't you in a few teams? Yeah. I'm in the VShojo team. And I'm the creator of the Girls FC team, actually. For me and my other friends. Yeah. I think the biggest change is no more company collabs with her, like the Disney song. Yeah, but realistically, I mean, how many of those did we do? It was like a Disney song. Maybe a couple covers per year. There you go. Right? I think it'd be, like, more upsetting if we did that, like, monthly. Or, like, weekly. But, no, that... It wasn't even, like the backbone of our stuff that we do together. You know what I mean? Yeah, we just do it for holidays sometimes. Exactly. And we can still do any amount of that together. That's all totally fine. Any plans to increase the number of group projects in the future? I don't know. I've tried, but we don't have, like, our own, like, hired in staff for production, for, like, videos or content production. It's just kind of on the members to do those. So like when you see those covers, usually it's a member that kickstarted them and organize it, and then sometimes we will pass it off to staff and be like, can you find a producer to do this thing? Here you go if you guys want to post it on your channel or something like that. But that's just something that we do. Yeah, it's in the YouTube credits. You can go look on our videos. You can see like who did what. Feels a bit weird that she's suddenly leaving the group seemingly out of nowhere. I mean, why would anyone talk about these things? Like, I get what you're saying, but at the same time, I don't see a scenario where it's not out of nowhere and like we sit around and we talk about a lot of stuff publicly leading up to someone leaving and everyone's like, oh, I knew it. Like, all of that is kind of stuff that's like not tasteful is the way to say it, right? Like, you'd either probably be breaching NDA contract or you'd be like saying way too much and it causes problems for your members or something like that, you know? So that's why some of these things seem like they come out of nowhere, because everyone the whole time has been really respectful and not trying to make a stink out of it. So yeah, it'll always feel sudden to you guys. Exactly. There's some things that will end up in the public eye without someone being untactful. Like sometimes things just come out and they happen. But in most cases, yeah, people just kind of keep it to themselves on purpose, you know? Yeah, right, exactly. Like Texas, you said, it just opens the door for speculation. Imagine, imagine if she was for the last like month, like vaguely dropping, like hints about it, and then it happened. Like it would just, you know, she's not the type to do that. Is what I'm trying to say. Anything else? Yeah, you said the graduation thing doesn't really make sense of V-shoujo context. That's why we don't use that word, because it's not the same scenario. Yeah, it's a different scenario. Exactly. We need a conspiracy board that shows all the hints connected by strings. Yeah, my Pepe Sylvia moment. Mm-hmm. But yeah, no, TLDR here is I mean, things happen. Things happen. I can't really say too much. I can't really say anything specific about the why, you know? But I can say how I feel about it. Sorry for the bag sounds you're about to hear. I can say how I feel about it. And I can answer questions about what's going to happen. So I'll continue to do that. You like bag sounds? My donut bag. Not getting tired from rotating that meat. Yeah, my right arm hurts right now, man. Anyway, I think the meat is almost roasted. Soon. But yeah, you just ask any final questions, then we play a video game. Wouldn't vtuber be the most effective business-wise because Matara is super successful? Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Tell us how you feel about pineapple on pizza. I don't feel any type of way about it. I don't really like eating it, but I'm also like not into the discourse on it because I feel like it's like such a dead horse, right? Like everyone asks that question because they know I'm like from the land of pizza, and they're like, "Ooh, she's gonna get so mad." But I'm just a chill guy, and things don't really make me mad. Do you feel? Not really. I feel some. But I'm just a chill guy. So like I do, but like there are a lot of situations where I'm like, there's not much to feel here. I don't know why we're feeling so much. We can feel a little, but this is a lot of feeling that we're having right now, you know? And I tend to be a little like, that's a lot. Maybe I'm a little too chill. Ooh, this one you said a second donut has hit the GEEGA. I mentioned this yesterday. I'm going to mention it again. With everything that's gone on this weekend and today as well, I've seen a lot of people deciding that 9/11 was a really fun way for them to joke about more things happening in succession after each other. But I want to remind you guys that I'm from New York and always have been, and was personally affected. So I'm not going to say you can't joke about anything, but I think you need to like have a good joke set up in a punchline. Otherwise, you're just like, hey, remember that tragedy? And I'm like, yeah, I really do, actually. You know what I mean? Like, I'm just like, yeah, I remember it vividly, actually. Do you? Like, you know? So, you're from New Jersey and you don't love it? Yeah, it's a little different when you're a little closer to that, or maybe very close to that. But, like, you know, can still remember the smell. I literally can, yes. So, there are certain smells and sounds I can just remember, and then I'll see someone be like, haha, remember when that happened? And I'm like, oh, yeah, I do. You know what I mean? So I will say, I'm a believer you can joke about anything, but make sure it's like good, like a good joke. I talked about this the other day too when I was talking about Queso and people making fat jokes about him. He'll make a joke about his own weight, about himself, but there will be like a thing that happened in game that made sense, and then he builds the joke off of it. I'm like, that's a good punchline. Good one, Queso. And then there will be people in chat that just point their finger and say fat. And I'm like, what? like you're not joking anymore. You're just pointing and laughing. You know what I mean? So just, I personally, I feel like you can joke about just about anything as long as it's like a good joke. You know what I mean? Give it a punchline. Know what I'm saying? That's really all. It doesn't have to be the funniest joke in the world. I just need to be able to look at what you wrote or what you said and be like, they said that because they've been like really, really trying to make a joke here. Like they wanted to be a jokester, not because they're just like, Lamau this thing, you know what I mean? He said, it's been less than 24 hours since I found and followed this channel because I looked for chill blueprints content, and now I've been Googling context about Vishojo Matara for almost 2 hours. I'm sorry. I'm sorry, man. That's how I feel about this whole situation. I'm just like, I'm so sorry, because all this shit is just happening. It's all shit that has to happen. And I can't do anything to make it not happen. And it's also, like, for you guys, it's happening at such a bad time, because I feel like the general VTuber watching community has also dealt with, like, a lot of not chill shit recently. Especially the last week, but, like, last couple months. So I'm just like, damn, I'm sorry, but here's another one, you know? Sorry, but here's another thing to add to the pile. I'm sure it's a bit tiring. I will say I'm relieved that it's finally announced, because I've been very tired for a while. It's been a little, I won't say it's like super emotionally hard, but like I kind of like don't know what to say sometimes when people would be like, you know, we always do the blank from Vishojo jokes, and then someone would be like, something, are you gonna do this with Matara from Vishojo? And I would just see it in chat, and I'd be like, yep, I am. You know? I'd be like, yeah, that's right. You know? Obviously, she's still here. She still has a week. But, yeah, Matara for MataraCon. Exactly. But it's one of those things where I'm like, the person's like, haha, yippee, and I didn't want to come back and also be like, haha, yippee. And then turn around the next day and be like, guess what, guys? You know? It's a lot. That's a lot. When you said VTubing is over or whatever gets me the most clicks. Are you trying to like get a banger YouTube title going in the chat? Yeah, man. I don't know. I will choose to talk about things that I feel like have affected me or I'm like tangential to. But if it's like totally unrelated to me, no thanks. But eh. You knowing beforehand kind of forms your tweet. My tweet that I made about graduations wasn't about anyone specific even. This was also on my mind. Obviously couldn't say that at the time. But really it was because since the dawn of time, since I've been a VTuber, I've seen those types of reactions mixed in. Vast majority of people are just like normal sad. They're just like expressing sadness over an event, which is fine. But there are people who act like the person behind the character sometimes is like legitimately going away and dying forever. And I understand that some of them may not always stream forever. But at the same time, like, I still think it's good to express that in a way where you're like, I'm thankful that you did what you did and I got to be part of your community, and not just be like, it's all over, because the person's usually making a decision for themselves that makes sense. And from my perspective, I want them to be able to be happy about it. You know, whether I was a big fan of theirs or not, like, if they're making a good decision for themselves, they should do that. Maybe they're never going to stream again. Okay. Maybe there's a reason for that, and this is good. You know, and like, I think it'd be nice if they felt supported and not like what happens is it's difficult, but I've seen this a lot. Depending on how the reactions go or how people word things, sometimes they feel like they, the person, are not enough. Or if they're not doing this thing for these people, then they don't care anymore. Or they never cared about them as a person and wanted the best for them. They just cared about this or that or the other thing. They cared about just them as a content creator, or, you know, them in a certain group or whatever. That's how it makes people feel sometimes. And it's not that people are always directly saying that, but the way they word things can often like give that complete message to them. So that's really what I wanted to point out there. And they won't talk about it. They won't talk about it much, you know? But yeah, I just want people to know that the things that they say can sometimes, like, it comes from an okay place, but it can come off to that person who's just trying to make a decision for themselves that makes sense, as if they don't care about, like, them as a whole, like the person, you know? So that's why it's better to just, yeah, be chill, be a bit more positive. Try to, I wouldn't say downplay your emotions, but like, try to just like give yourself a moment to breathe before you type, you know, things like that. Yeah, most people are fine. Most people are fine. It's the small pocket of people that I see every single time. And from all communities, from every single one, not from one in particular or anything like that. From all of them. And it'd be better for everyone, for themselves, for the people, the creators who are reading their tweets and things, all of this, right? Like, it's better for everyone if they just calm first, chill a little bit. The small pocket is one of the most vocal. Yeah, like, it's like by pure count, it's not that many people. But it affects other people. It distresses them too. It distresses the community, makes some other people, like, you know, heighten their emotions. Hey, permission to say balls? Always. But yeah, some people have developed big complexes over that. Like one of you mentioned in chat, yeah. So, you know, it's a bit sad to think about if someone would be made to feel like their community that said they supported them the whole time had like a bunch of people in it that make them feel like they didn't. And when I say they, I mean that small pocket of them, but still, from the creator perspective, it doesn't matter what the majority does. There's always all these differing opinions and things said. There's a mixed bag, and you see all of it, you know? And you care about all of it. Even if the majority is all chill and cool, if you see enough people saying something else, you know, that does distress people. So, you know, it's not a black and white issue, though. It's just one of those things where you just try to be careful, and that's it. That's it. So I think trauma dumping posts tend to get the most traction during these times also. Yeah, I will say this too. The human mind is so morbidly curious. And when you see something negative, you're much more likely to find yourself starting to type something frantically, or to find yourself like smacking a like button, being like, oh my god, so true, and like dumping on a thing, dogpiling on a thing, right? The human mind really like attaches to the negative, and this is your going back to your like OG ancient times brain, okay, where it's a survival skill. If you are, it's ancient times, you're walking in a forest, you trip on a root on the ground and you fall over and you hurt your knee. Every time you walk on a path in a forest, you're going to be looking down just in case there's something you trip on. Even though it happened one time, you're always going to do that, right? Human brain does this survival skill. That's normal. In modern times, you get a lot of shit like someone types something with a lot of really negative emotion on Twitter and you can't stop thinking about it. And you can't stop ruminating, and you're like, I'm gonna post something too. Like, you know? And you start like trauma dumping or something. And I think it's a very normal thing that people do, to be honest. It's a very human thing. But you just have to try. You just have to try. It's about me. Yeah, because again, it heightens your emotions and starts to make you paranoid. You look around, you're like, oh. It's just overall not great. So just keep it chill, keep it as positive as you can. And, you know, don't just support a creator who's doing a thing, support the people in the community that need it as well. You know, remind them to be chill. Remind them they're gonna be fine. You see someone crashing out, don't feed into their crash out. Just be like, you're gonna be all right, buddy, you know? And you should be okay. You should be all right. I also feel like every other person on the planet is mentally unhinged because you probably spend a lot of time online. Honestly. Sometimes you just gotta close the tab, you know? Sometimes you just gotta close the tab. Speaking of Twitter, why the fuck is everyone on about 100 people versus one gorilla? Flavor of the week, I don't know. Flavor of the week. It's not even flavor of the week anymore. It's like flavor of 2 days. Every 2 days there's a new thing. Anyway, none of you are killing a gorilla. That thing is ripping you to shreds. Now, 100 people? Okay. 100 people coordinated would win. Do you expect people to be coordinated? Like 100 random people? Newt said, I can take 100, man. This is like the whole mod team every time. Ooh. Oh my god. But what's really going to happen is an angry gorilla is going to come out and those 100 people are going to back up and be like, oh my god, because no one wants to be the guy that's closest to the gorilla and actively getting their arm ripped off. 100 Navy SEALs? Okay. But like, what are 100 people going to do? The people closest to the gorilla are going to like, what, put their hands on it and try to punch it? And then they're going to get murked. And then the people behind that, what are they gonna do? Push them, and then you get like a stampede situation where people just get crushed by other people? Like what's the plan here? I just like strategically I try to think through it and I'm like, Also, don't beat up a gorilla. Gorillas are cool and nice and smart. Remember that gorilla that had a kitten that Robin Williams talked to a bunch? And she was like, this is my kitten. She had a little black kitten. She was like, this is Miss Black. And then she had Miss Gray, a little gray kitten. Yeah, Coco. Coco was like, look at my kittens. Gorillas are cool, and they are chill. They are chill. She could use basic ASL. She was really cool. She was, man. So I don't know why that's the new flavor. I think someone just said something and it was a hit tweet and everyone was like, no you can't, no you can't. Didn't she try to blame the kitten for ripping a sink off the wall? Yeah. It was kind of cute. It was kind of cute. She ripped the sink off the wall. And she was like, the kitten. They were like, what happened, Coco? And she kept pointing at the kitten and being like, the kitten. And it was kind of cute. She was like, she was trying to blame it. Oh, man. She really tried, man. She really tried. Let me see if I can get a picture. And then we'll play video games. Oh, there's so many nice pictures of her with her kittens. Oh my god. She would hold them like little babies. She loved them. Look at this. Look at that. She would pet them and she would just hold them all like little babies. One of you said, can an old 35-year-old person like me belong here? That... You ain't old. You said, no, you said ancient. You're not old. You're surrounded by people just like you. There's a lot of you in here, actually. We got a real wide range in this chat, okay? This chat isn't one that's like all younger 20s, all 30s, all whatever. This chat is like, I've got a bunch of people that are like college students that ask me for advice on like work and school all the time. And then I got a bunch of people that are like 40 with kids and then a lot in the middle.
Hey GEEGA, what is the most interesting non-fiction book you've read recently, if any?
Non-fiction? I'm not much of a non-fiction person. Rather than book, I just read a lot of stuff on history recently. Or like, I read a story, it was a bunch of memoirs of a guy. I guess it's not non-fiction like a novel, but there was a set of memoirs of a guy who was in the Peace Corps. I don't remember what it was called, but he went around and was like, just writing letters from the time, and then he wrote about what he felt while he was writing that letter and what he remembers from that place he was in and stuff like that. Hi, Carrie. Thank you for the 46 months. Holy. Holy.
Some of us are 40 years old, but act like children.
Stop
Stevie.
mowing. Stop it. Anyway, you could still continue to ask questions on anything about Matara and reshows or any of that stuff, but I wanted to get the main stuff out of the way without myself on the screen, so you're just listening to my voice, although I technically am on the screen. But I'm gonna be gaming. We're gonna be playing a game to keep it chill. Oh, thank you for the bits. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. I appreciate that. While I'm setting this up, wait, I saw another question. What'd you say? Said, what's WME? So many people are asking now, and I'm surprised because, like, Matara's been with them for so long, and no one thought to ask. Not no one, but so many people never asked until now. And like suddenly they're like, but what is this? She's been with them the whole time. She's been with them, like, not the whole time, but most of the time. They're just another company, and there are tons of companies that exist in this space that their main thing is to be a bridge to get people sponsorships or any sort of deals you might need. Yeah, they're an agency, right? Right, and Mouse has UTAs and does too. A lot of people have these various companies. Some people have like a personal agent rather than a company. Some people just hire like one person to do this. Thank you so much.
Perfect.
Thank you. Thank you. But yeah, it's the same thing as one of those. I know some VTubers are with, what's a good example? Some other streamers with GG Talent Group. Some people are with, I don't know, there's a lot of examples. They're not like
pushing the other
groups.
side of my 30s, but I still like making the TTS do funny fart noises.
We have the most mature community on the site, to be honest. We surely do. Who's with the WWE? Soon to be Matara Khan. God, I wish we could just become wrestlers. I wish. Anyway, yeah, there are tons of companies like that. Everyone's, well, not everyone, but most people have one. Most indie VTubers have them. Most indie VTubers that are people who do sponsorships at any point, almost all of them have one of those. And typically you sign with them and no one is like, oh my god, they're going corpo. Like, it's not that sort of thing. They don't license your brand or anything like that.
Welcome
it's just
to
an
the
agent.
Zone.
Thank you for the bits. Thank you so much. Sounds like it's just good business sense. Yeah, you know how actors, you go to their IMDb and it has a list of their agents and it has like multiple names there, and there will be one that says like booking agent. So if you want to book them, you call that person. There will have like, you know, agents for different functions. That's what this is. It's like a sponsorships agent for most people. Sometimes they do other things too. They can also help with other stuff. Some of them do offer a bit more talent management as well as a service, but usually their main thing is just they're an agent and they get you deals. You can also just do this yourself. You can just talk to companies and be like, hey, Cheeky Soap, I like your soap. Can I have a code with your soap? And they might just deal straight with you. But there are a lot of like representatives from these companies that already know a lot of these people. So when you work with them, they'll be like, yeah, I'll just call Joe Schmo at this company and I'll ask for you, and they can get you what you need because they already know somebody, and it's not like this new introduction as if, you know, you're just emailing them yourselves. So it's really easy, honestly. It's really easy to get stuff through someone if you have an agent like that rather than doing it yourself. Because you can, but you're like, then you're just cold emailing people and they don't know you. But I have some direct relationships, right? Like Xseed and Atlas Games and stuff. I have direct contacts with them where I can just message somebody and be like, I know you've got a game coming up. Can I be sponsored by this one? And they'll go, let me see if we're doing sponsorships for this one. Let me see if we have budget. Are you interested? Let me grab this thing for you. Oh, do you want game keys? You know, that kind of stuff. And I can just deal with them. So, yeah. An agent just kind of does a lot of that for you because it's so much emailing. A lot of it doesn't pan out. It's so much communication when you're going back and forth to negotiate how it's all going to work. And yeah, it's just a lot easier to do it like that. Okay. Do I continue Blueprints? Or do I continue Oblivion? Or do I open some sort of head empty game and just yap and play it and I don't use my brain at all? Hard pick. It's tough. It's tough. That's kind of what's on the docket for this week outside of collabs. We are going to be doing a lot of collabs. And decisions. Actually, Mario Golf, please. I would have to set up my Switch for it. I don't even know if it's charged right now. I love Mario Golf. I love it. I love it. Do you see folks comparing Expedition 33 to Lost Odyssey a lot? I'm gonna have to play it because Lost Odyssey is, in my opinion, the greatest JRPG of all time. It's my most favorite. And people saying it's similar, I'm like, did you all play it though? Because I refuse to believe that many people played it. I think they just see the quick time actions like mid-combat and they're like, maybe. But maybe I'll play it and I'll be like, oh, it actually is similar. I don't know. Blueprints is a good talking game. That's true. Oblivion, we have to like focus in hard on the game itself. Or do we? I don't know. Here, let's pull it. Let me find, where's the button? Let's pull it. New poll. Which? And if you 50-50 it for fun, I will default play Blueprints. I'm gonna put snow on here. So the game that's completely head empty is snow. I just go downhill skiing. Okay, it's a 1-minute poll. Go. Hi, May. It was Haste last week? Yeah. I wanted to do Haste, but as a separate thing, a different day. I did add a third, so you can't 50-50. I did. You said I'm gonna research Expedition 33 because Lost Odyssey was so good. It was so good. What's Snow again? That really pretty game where you just like ski downhill. Could we have a runoff of the top two? Maybe. But then people are just gonna 50-50 it again, aren't they? Why is Snow doing so well? It's like it's not winning, but like it's I thought people would be like, what the fuck is that, and not pick it. Wow. Oh man. Ooh, it's so close. Ooh, how many? It won by 7 votes? Okay. Now it's time for a runoff poll. We're taking Snow off there. We'll play it another day. I'm going to let the 105 people that wanted Snow redistribute their vote. Which part 2? Blueprints or Oblivion? Now, when it comes to Blueprints, we played a little yesterday, and by little, I mean a lot. I am so, like, deeply entrenched in that game. If I put it on an iceberg chart, we're almost in, we basically are in the abyssal zone. Ranked choice voting. Oh, I wish we had that properly here. I wish, the thing that I want is for you to not be able to see what other people are voting for. That's the dream. I want you to not be able to see it because everyone loves to 50-50 things because they think it's funny, but all it does is defeat the purpose of the poll and make me, like, not want to use polls. Yeah, you're already trying to do it. It's just, like, really, I don't know. I don't want to, like, shit on you guys, but it's really unfunny, so it just... So that's why before I do it, I say, hey, if it's, like, close to 50-50, we default to this. I always say that before now, so that you know. And my default is Blueprints right now. So, ooh, how many votes off was that? 13. 13. I did see a lot of people attempting to 50-50 it, so do we even believe the results of the poll? Yes, that's just because you want to see what you want to see, Texas. That's because you want to see what you want to see. How about this? I'm gonna let May decide. May, I'm gonna DM you. You're gonna DM me which game you want to see. Because I saw so many of you trying repeatedly to 50-50 it the whole way. So I'm gonna DM May. And she's gonna decide for you. My cat is trying to get on my desk. Nucky. Which one, dog? fucked. Get fucked. She said, Blueprints is chill vibes, absolutely immaculate, and puzzles. Absolute fucking cinema. Oof. Mmm. Mmm. Because look, I know the end result wasn't 50-50, but I saw you motherfuckers trying. I saw you trying the whole time. We're gonna get into it.